All right, a pretty dope little announcement here. Or I mean, I'm making a video on an announcement. Actually, this is kind of keeping with a bit of a trend that I've been doing. The first time Kyle Kalinske went on, I for sure remember putting up a video letting you guys know that he was getting on. Jimmy Dore, I believe I had done the same thing for his first appearance, although I think I might have combined the two. I'm not sure, but I did do it in some form or another. Now, it's been weird for a while as to why David Pakman wasn't invited on the Joe Rogan Experience, because it's clear Joe Rogan is a fan of David Pakman's work, because he's talked about David Pakman multiple times in his podcast in the past like 6 months or something. So back when the whole Jones thing happened, David had made a video about it, and Joe Rogan had talked about it on his podcast, as well as they talked about the whole Amy Siskin debacle, where she tried to get him fired from his position as adjunct professor. And I want to say Boston University, although I don't know, I forgot which college it is or what university it is. But here, David Pakman's going to lay out his announcement. Let's hear what his announcement is.
I've got a big announcement to make. I have been waiting to talk about
And yes, I am a member. This is his bonus show.
this partially because I'm not superstitious, but I hate announcing things and then they get canceled, and then I just kind of feel stupid, or I end up feeling bad in some way. But at this point, I'm flying out very, very soon. So at this point, I think I have to announce it. I'm going to be appearing on the Joe Rogan program this week. On Wednesday, I am scheduled to be on the Joe Rogan Experience. I'm flying out to Los Angeles, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. If nothing changes, I will be on the Joe Rogan program. This is a massive, massive opportunity for the show. I am nervous about it because I want to make the best impression. I want to do the most to expand the audience. And Joe Rogan, if you don't know, has, I don't know if it's the biggest, but one of the biggest podcasts, period. Millions of subscribers. I don't even know what the number is. 5.5 million subscribers on YouTube. And it is just an extraordinary opportunity for the David Pakman Show, for progressive independent media. There are critics of Joe who say he doesn't have enough left-wing people on. I'm going on. We've been messaging back and forth a little bit about topics. It's an open-ended, informal conversation. It'll probably run a couple of hours. And that's it. I'm flying out. I will be sitting on a plane. So what we've done is I've doubled up. And even though we're releasing the Monday and Tuesday shows, Monday and Tuesday, in terms of their recording, Wednesday, Thursday, Ben Dixon will be filling right very recently. Joe Rogan got in touch and said, can you do June 5th? And I said, I will be there. So I will be away Wednesday, Thursday. And then if all goes well with my flight, I will be back on Friday and hosting the Friday show. So extremely exciting. I am definitely sort of anxious about it, not only because I'm just very tired. I just got back from being 6 hours ahead time zone wise. And right after filming Monday, I'm heading to the airport, and it's a 6.5 hour flight and another time change and all of this stuff. I'm extremely excited, and I'm going to make the best of it. That's it. So it's a very short bonus show today, just to let you know that doubling up on shows. Joe Rogan, I will be on the Joe Rogan Experience Wednesday. If it gets canceled now, I mean, listen, I'm flying out, right? Unless I learn in the next few hours that it's canceled. If you don't see me on there on Wednesday, then you will know something happened. Something happened that's versus Democratic Socialism appearing on while I'm out there. And I will also be, if you follow my social media, I will also be having some dinners and lunches with other progressive hosts and personalities. I won't say who yet because, who knows what pictures will be posted and what everybody will be okay with. But there should be a lot of interesting stuff happening in this.
Yeah, so I can actually tell you who those people are because I heard Hassan talking about it on stream. So he's definitely going to be having dinner together with Hassan Piker, Destiny, and Trihex. Trihex is a game streamer, if you don't know about it. He's a Nintendo game streamer. And I know that because Hassan Destiny talked about it live on stream. So they're going to be having dinner together. I don't know what other places he's going to be going on and stuff. But listen, man, this Joe Rogan appearance is pretty huge. Okay, it's pretty huge. I'm not sure exactly when the last like leftist commentator was on. I'm not sure which one it was. I know that he cycles on Yang and Tulsi and stuff like that. But this should be interesting. I'm genuinely curious as to how this is going to turn out because seems kind of to be a bit robotic, and I'm not sure how that kind of a long, free flowing conversation will go. I feel like intuition wise, I feel like there might be some roadblocks in terms of where there'll just be like kind of like dead air and dead space. Although I may just be being that may just be wrong. You know, maybe they have like a really awesome free flowing conversation that goes on and on. I feel like it might get a bit awkward at certain spots. Although, you know, obviously we don't know how it's going to turn out. No matter what, this is a huge opportunity for the David Pakman show, as well as for the rest of the show. I mean, David will probably get like he'll most likely get like some 1,000 boost of subscribers, you know, like a 6K boost at least, maybe even more. Um, but I'm curious as to how, because it really depends on what topics they talk about, how those things are clipped, and the response of the audience. So, some things I could see happening if they talk about like the Mueller report, he might have a take that Joe's audience doesn't agree with, right? Because Joe's audience, whether he likes it or not, is full of a bunch of right wing morons. And so that might not be received well by his audience. And I could see a couple of things. You know, David has some takes that are, that are not popular with Rogan's fan base. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to turn out. I want to know if they're going to have a free flowing conversation. I want to know if they're going to, what they're going to discuss. And he genuinely seems to be, and he obviously just said it right there. That's how I know. Is he says that he's anxious about it, right? About his appearance with Joe Rogan. I could definitely see why. It's going to be pretty interesting. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen with this conversation. I'm very curious. What are your prognostics on here? What do you think is going to happen? Play prognosticator. So he's announcing he's going on Joe Rogan. This is on June 5th. I think 11 a.m. I believe is when he's on. So it should be June 5th, 11 a.m. that he's on. I don't know if the 11 a.m. is right, actually. I missed that. It's certainly June 5th, though. So today's June 4th. So that means that it will be tomorrow, June 5th, that he will be over on the Joe Rogan podcast. So he also sent out this tweet. He said, this was the 30th of May, so it's like 6 days ago. He said, I've never hesitated to point out my political disagreements with @Rubin Report, but I do think there is a, quote, pile-on going on right now that's simply not useful or productive for anyone. I will be in LA next week and would love to talk about it if the old invite is still open. So here is what David is saying here, okay? And you can just look at these responses, right? Like look at these kinds of responses. You know, someone says, "What pile-on?" Someone says, "Sometimes, David, you get what you ask for." Man, I don't think it's a pile-on. People don't think sometimes, okay? People don't think sometimes, all right? Is it a pylon? I mean, kind of, but I mean, it's justified one. But the point that I'm trying to tell you here is, this is this is the best response from David, because obviously what he's trying to do is he's trying to reach out to Rubin in a way that makes it so that you, as a viewer and a person, cannot look at David Pakman and be like, and then, look at Dave Rubin not having him on and somehow find a justification for Dave Rubin not having David on. So he's playing this position of, while you guys are doing this strategy, I'm going to basically say that there's like this pylon going on, and that I would like to go on his show to talk about it and to kind of be like this rational voice. So while people are responding with these kinds of takes, like not saying it's not a pylon, which it is, by the way, but that's a totally justified pylon, 100%. He deserves it. Fuck Dave Rubin. But how could you not see this tweet from Dave and be like, oh, I get what you're doing. You're trying to be the rational person here, or at least in Dave Rubin's mind, be the rational person, and to paint yourself in a light in which you cannot be in any way justified as to why you're not being brought onto the Dubin report, and that you will have possibly a higher effectiveness in terms of actually, getting on the Dubin report. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's not going on the Rubin report because Dubin never answered to this. And Dubin, you are a coward, massive, massive coward. Screw you. David would have been, probably the perfect guest you could get on your show, of course, but of course you won't do. You're making all those fat stacks of cash. You know what I'm saying? So David will be going on the Joe Rogan Experience. I don't think he's going to be doing much there simply because he's only there for a couple days. But let me know how you think the Joe Rogan convo is going to go, because I'm very curious about that.